Hey everyone, I'm Rachel,
And I'm Jen, and welcome to Devilish Bookworms, the podcast.
where we read and review books and release episodes every Tuesday.
This week, we have The Truth According to Ember by Danica Nava.
Yay!
Ember Lee Cardinal wants so much more than the life she's living. When she decided to take fate into her own hands and embellish her resume, it seems as though every door in the world has opened to her. A great job, a new car, a hot man affectionately called Native Daddy should be everything Ember needs for her happy ever after. But will she be able to keep up her Jenga tower of lies before it all topples down on top of her? Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun dun.
So, Rachel, let's dive in.
I'm just really happy that I got you to say native daddy so early in the episode.
Honestly, trying to hold it together saying that. Oh, that was my favorite.
It
I'm
was
so glad you put
fantastic.
I am so happy you put that there.
So yes, so this book is about a woman named Ember, and she is indigenous and she is working at a bowling alley. And she lives her life and she's happy enough with her life, but she wants more. She's ambitious and she wants, she just wants more. And so she works at the bowling alley with her best friend, and she's putting in application, and she keeps getting rejection and rejection and rejection. So she did something that I feel it's important that we all do. And that is she lied on her resume, um, on a couple of different things. She lied about her ethnicity. She lied about her education. She embellished. And I don't mean, I feel like I should say, I don't mean that we should lie about our ethnicity. I frankly, that shouldn't even be a question on an application, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Um, but I was there was a time where I was filling out a bunch of applications, and someone who was like very high up, someone that I worked for, who and he was very high up in the company. He was like, "You need to lie, like just lie on your resume." He's like, "You just need to get the call back. You're gonna wow them in the interview. Just like, you know, embellish a little." So I get it.
And well, to add to that, I understand that because you being black but sounding quote unquote white, I say that I sound educated, but people have repeatedly told me throughout my life that I sound white. And if it, that's a different story, but either way, like sometimes getting into a job interview was so difficult when I checked that black box because everybody expects me to go in there talking like I don't have an education, but when they hear me talk, they don't associate me as being black. And that's just stupid. Just like it's stupid that she ever would have gotten denied a job for being Native American. And I don't get that. I it's so stupid. Being a color or ethnicity does not make you able or unable to do a job.
Yep, 100% agree. That's why I hate the fact that that question is even on there. Like, there are a few things that I hate about job interviews. I especially hate the fact that you have to do everything online. Like
Mm-hmm.
before, you would go in, you'd introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Jen. Hi, my name is Rachel. Hi, my name is Ember. And I would love an application, and they can see the way you walk in, the way you handle yourself, introduce yourself. I used to have people at where I worked who would walk in their pajamas asking for an application, and I'm like, are we serious right now? But
Mm-hmm.
I had a guy who came in for a job interview for management in sweatpants. But you know, anywho, but yeah, I miss that. I miss the face to face. But just as you said, I couldn't have said it any more perfectly. So I don't know why I'm even trying. But someone walking in and having good qualifications or like presenting themselves well, their ethnicity should have no like weight whether they get a call back or not.
Absolutely, because I have been deemed unqualified for jobs that I'm overqualified for. I can guarantee you that. If it wasn't for getting a paper application for the job that I currently have, if it was online, they probably would have never hired me. But they saw my determination and, hey, give me this job. I want this fucking job. Um, so when they got bugged enough, they finally gave me an interview and I had the job that day. Like, I walked out of my interview with a job. 2 weeks later, I had the keys. Like, it, you have to understand that, yeah, sometimes embellishing on an application may get you somewhere. It may not get you anywhere, but your persistence is definitely a huge key. And get rid of that ethnicity, and it doesn't matter who you are. If you're persistent enough, you have the job. If you work hard enough, you can keep that job. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Whew.
And it's so awful when you think about, because I was in and I want to preface this by saying the book is so much more than Ember lying about her ethnicity. It's so much more than that. And we are going to get to that. But I think that this is a huge topic. You know, I've been in HR, I've been in management, I've been in positions where I did the screening of the applicants, I did calling the interviews, I was the one that did all of that. And with different managers, I would see them pick and choose people differently. And it's one of the things that I hate. Ageism was huge. I hate to say that, but like I would have managers when I was working as an admin assistant, and I was calling all the applicants. I was doing the first initial screens of people, and I would bring the applications to the manager, and we would go through them together. And if a person was a certain age, it would be an automatic no. And I was like, like, oh God,
That shit bothers me. Yeah, that shit bothers me because the woman I work with, who's 63 years old, can run circles around these fucking kids.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say that, but I mean, she busts her ass. She's semi-retired and still every shift she comes in, busts her ass, does what she needs to, doesn't ask for help, even will climb a ladder if she needs to. Like, age is nothing but a number.
Well, not that one, not that quote. Listen, there's some backstory. Never mind.
No comment. Anyways, let's move on.
But yes, no, I like I said, it's only one part of this whole story, but frankly, our hiring system needs a reboot. It needs a whole overhaul. Like, there's so many people who are not in positions where they could completely excel because of stupid little things like that. And the fact, Jen, you know me, the fact that ethnicity is on a fucking job application. I get why it's there. I understand, like, but God, it's the stupidest fucking thing that I've ever heard in my life.
Well, and see, that was a thing in one of the other books that we've read in the way, way beginning. And I'm not even going to say the name of the book because we actually took the episode down because of how riled up I got. Because it is ridiculous in this type of day that we have to say things like this, that we have to even have ethnicity be a fucking thing. Just because I am Black doesn't mean that I should be in a lower position than somebody else that doesn't have, or that has the same education as I do, or shit, I might even have a better education than that person. I'm getting passed over for certain positions. Like there was one job I literally had more qualifications, had been doing the job for months on end without flaws, and yet I got passed over by someone I taught to do my job. I handed in my freaking 2 weeks right then and there. You don't pass me up just because she is white and I'm black. That's not how this works.
No.
I left them in peril. They struggled and then the store closed. Made my soul so happy.
I would be 100% honest, my darling. They're lucky you gave it 2-week notice. I'd have been like, bye-bye.
I left it on a Post-it note on top of paperwork in the office. They didn't even find it for the first day or two.
Oh my God.
I'm savage. When I don't agree with something or you piss me off enough, I can be the pettiest little bitch.
So when we first are introduced into the book, Ember is working in the bowling alley, and like why do I feel like some weird part of me was like, I feel like it'd be kind of fun to work in a bowling alley.
I could see it.
Like obviously not, yeah, like not for like if you're an ambitious person and you want like a bigger job, I guess you could say. I'm an ambitious person, so it's not a job where I would want to stay, but I feel like at least for a little bit. Then again, I grew up in bars, so
I was gonna say I feel like my job is equivalent to a bowling alley. I just don't have to do with toilets.
So it takes place in Oklahoma. Did you know that Grandpa's from Oklahoma?
I did not.
Yeah, Grandpa was from Oklahoma and Grandma was from Kansas.
Oh, that's so cute.
I know. So I want to make a point and say that Ember is a Chickasaw woman. Well, she's Chickasaw and Choctaw, and I hope I said those right. I'm really sorry if I didn't. And she puts in this application that she has embellished, and she gets a call back. And so she goes to this job interview, and while she's going into this building, she sees this tall, handsome snack of a man with braids, and they have the cutest meeting. She's like, he says Cherokee, and she goes, I don't even have the quote. I didn't write it down, but she's like, no, Chickasaw and Choctaw. And then she's like saying, oh, and he's like, no, I'm Cherokee.
Oh my goodness.
They're so adorable.
I was going to say their little start, it was so freaking cute.
Mm-hmm. So he follows her into this building, and she learns that he works there. And she goes into her interview and she kills it in the interview because of course she does. And they offer her the job. So she gets the job and finds out that inter-office relationships are explicitly forbidden. And that sucks for her and her man.
Listen, when I heard hot, tall man with muscles working in IT, I was like, that's my kind of man. It's really not. That's like the complete opposite.
Right. So this IT man of whom we speak, his name is Danica, and he goes by the name of Dan while he's at work. And I'm going to say straight up, like, the reason why I love this book so much, and I did love this book, the reason why I loved this book so much is that it was a story, and they told the story, and you're following the characters, and it very much has a message, and it conveys that message, and you get that message, but you're also following a story. And to me, it puts so much humanity into people. and I don't know if I'm the right person to say this, and I don't know if I'm, like, this is just another white woman doing white woman stuff, but like, I feel like when you put humanity into people and you're like seeing Ember do her everyday things, and she's she's listening to, like, God, there were so many references in this book. She's like listening to Stevie Nicks, and they're like watching movies, and I don't want this to come off as like natives, indigenous people, they're just like us. But like, it's, you see the human behind it. And it's like when people say stupid stuff, it's almost like they're not even thinking about the person behind the dumb shit they're saying. And
Ooh,
what? No, if you pop off, girl.
yes, because that boss fucking pissed me off. You have
Ma'am,
no idea.
get me that Indian.
Oh, I freaked the fuck out when I was listening to that. I was like, oh no, he didn't. And I am so fucking proud of how she fucking handled that, because not only did she not just be like, oh yeah, let me just call Dan. No, she fucked with him and got Mr. Patel down to his office and said, this was the Indian that you wanted, right? He's Indian, not Native American.
Just real quick, normally we don't say anything about the second half of the book. This is something that happens in the second half of the book, but man, does it need to be talked about. Go on, girl.
Well, yeah, because it's something that people do, and then they like to say they're woke. I'm that woke boss, and I'm okay. I literally made a note about this. Hold on, please hold, because it pissed me off that bad, and I'm even stuttering because I'm so pissed.
I know.
I get so upset. I really am.
I will tell you what part got me after you finish yours.
So he says, I'm not a racist man. I am what some might call a woke man. I believe women should have all the same rights as men, and no one should be treated differently based on their race. So that's what the boss says, okay? And she basically is thinking to herself, believing in basic human decency was not being woke. But I bet he thought that yelling things like what he did stripped someone of their humanity and replaced it with a stereotype. It was vile, and it felt like I was making dirty money working for this man. And I absolutely love that. And that is probably like my favorite part of this book. There were obviously other really good parts, but just that moment where she finally like took a stance and made it clear to the audience that claiming that you're a woke person does not make you truly not racist or a misogynist or anything of that sort. When you say shit like that, I'm woke, or I have a black best friend, or I hang with Indian people all the time. It does not make you a better person. It does not make you woke. It does not make you able to see past your own barriers. And it just drives me crazy that people use woke as a way to basically sidestep the fact that you're being a fucking dick. You're being racist. You're being an asshole. Whew. Okay.
No, that was beautifully said. That was beautifully said. And I don't even have to say this. I don't even have to say this, but like, never mind. I won't say it because I don't have to. The part that got me, that really, really, really got me in this whole situation was when he said, "You put me in a very uncomfortable situation." And I was like, you son of a bitch.
You asked for an Indian, but yet you put uncomfortable situation.
Oh my God. That sentence. I was already, as soon as he said that, okay, I'm going to say a thing. In my opinion, because then he tried to justify it by saying I was mad. In my opinion, when you are upset, if the first thing you go to is someone's race or someone's gender, then you are just waiting the entire rest of the time when you're not mad, you're just waiting to use that when you're mad. It's not buried somewhere. You know what I mean? Like if like people are like, in that situation, he goes, I'm not racist. Then why is it that the first thing you said when you were mad was get me that Indian? How is that the first thing that was right up at the top? The first thing that you said when you walked in the door, if someone's race has no bearing on how you think of them, you know?
And why was the second thing is your defense? I'm woke. It's okay.
Oh my God.
That's why I hate that thing.
You know what pisses me off about woke is because it doesn't have an actual definition. I can say I'm woke because I'm awake to the problems of XYZ, right? And someone else can say that they're woke because of the, their brain is open to the problems of ABC. It's like we still have two different sides of the situation that we believe in. I hate that term.
See, I used to like that term until everybody started using it out of context. They didn't understand what it meant. So they just used it how they wanted to.
To me, it's just audacity. How dare you think that your brain is more open than someone else's? Like, because they think differently than you. Everyone thinks differently than everyone. Ugh, I'm woke. Oh, stupid. Anywho's. Yeah, no, I'm glad that you brought that part up.
Yeah, that's the most passionate I will be during this podcast episode, but that was like that was really weighing on me. You have no idea. I wanted to call you about it. I wanted to text you about it. I'm like, no, I'll save it for the podcast. Well, I just unleashed.
So of course, Ember gets this new job and she has this super smoking hot new coworker. And there was one scene where she goes back to the bowling alley, and then this book is a rom-com, right? So surprise, surprise, guess who's there? Danua and his little sister Walela. So what does she do, Jennifer?
My favorite. She literally basically hides or tries to hide and then pretends that she doesn't work there. She's just visiting because she's a bowling pro.
Yeah, Bucky, duh.
Oh, who doesn't want to be Bucky? So right off the bat, when they meet at this bowling alley and she's giving him a whole new spiel of lies on how she's Bucky and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, uh-huh, sure you are. All right, let's see you bowl, Bucky. And I love the fact that he sat there and like, even though he knew she was lying, he goaded her into proving that she was a bowling pro and all this other shit. And I love that he was calling her out on her bullshit. But the fact that she was able to back up her bullshit right then kind of irked me.
I just thought he was so. I loved the way he always handled all of her lies, because Ember was not one that lied normally. But then she started digging a hole with this charade that she was putting on. And so she kept lying and lying more and lying more. And I feel like every time he handled it so well, because like sometimes he would like, oh really? That's what we're going with? Or, he'd like call her out on it. I love the moments where she was telling such a dumb, blatant lie that it was like, really?
Yeah, her lies did really fucking suck. Like, she was horrible at lying. I don't understand how she didn't get called out on her bullshit sooner.
It was literally like watching a car crash, because you were like, okay, so she lies, she embellishes her resume, cool. Totally get it. I've done that too. And then she tells another one and it's like, okay, that one was unnecessary, but okay. And then she tells another one and it's like, Okay, well, I guess this is what we're doing now. And then she tells another one, it's like, Ember, what are you doing?
So what it reminded me of is a toddler getting caught doing something wrong that they knew they weren't supposed to and trying to get away with it. Were you in mommy's makeup? No, it's my makeup. Oh, you went to the store and bought that makeup? I sure did. With what
Where'd
money?
you get the money?
Yeah. Like she literally went down the whole rabbit hole and she just kept falling. And I honestly, I admired her in a way that she was able to consistently lie like that because I couldn't do it. I'd like
Full stop. I loved Ember. I thought she was hilarious. She seemed like the kind of chick that I would want to like, hang out with at a bowling alley. Um, she she was so like fun, and there was one part I thought was so funny. It was very early on. It was when she first met Danua, and she goes, I laughed at how completely ridiculous and confident this man was. I was like, ma'am, you're ridiculous and confident. What's happening right now?
okay, I know it's a little early, but honestly, Danua's sister,
Walila.
she was so freaking perfect. I loved her so
Ma'am.
much.
Which she said, well, normally they let me get away with whatever I want because of my Down syndrome. I was like, ma'am.
I lost it. I'm like, okay, go girl. Like she didn't let it hold her back. That was the best part. She didn't use it as a crutch. She used it against people that would mistake it for being a crutch. And that's what I absolutely loved about her.
Yeah. She was really cool. So Ember had a little brother named Sage, and I I don't know, like they had such a strained relationship, and I was like, it was hard to see because I was like, you wanted them. I have a great relationship with my sibling.
Well, I don't have the best relationship with my sister anymore.
So it was like we probably had two different like perspectives in reading her relationship with her brother, because like on your hand you were probably like, yeah, I get it. In my hand I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of really did stand with Ember quite a bit on her stance. So yeah, I can completely understand where you're coming from.
I was like, he made you a sandwich.
And I was like, I wouldn't eat that.
You wouldn't either. You'd be like, I gotta go.
I told you guys I'm petty. I can't help it. So yeah, I had like a lot of moments like that with Sage.
Did you catch the utter disrespect that was hurled at Love Spell by Victoria's Secret?
Yes, I did, because that was one of my favorites.
I was like, Danica!
Listen, I was not a vanilla hoe, okay?
Out of the blue! Utter disrespect.
Everybody liked that fucking warm vanilla, sweet pea, cherry blossom, or Love Spell. And I'm sorry, I was Love Spell all the way.
Love Spell was my jam. I have a bottle around here somewhere, and I don't spray it because I want to keep it forever. I love that smell.
I'm not gonna lie, I have a bottle too. It's sitting on my dresser.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
No, let's not do that.
Whoa, come on.
If they're gonna bring it back, they need to make it last longer than 3 seconds.
Ma'am, I don't think that was the problem. I think the problem was just our noses got used to it. So we kept spraying it and kept spraying it and kept spraying.
I know. I'd go through like a bottle a month.
Bro, that locker room was a problem.
Yeah, it was. You walk one side, it smelled like sweet pea and vanilla. The other side smelled like Love Spell and Adidas.
It was
by her,
problem.
or it was Adidas Move by
Facts.
her. Yeah. Oh yes, great times. We just fucking aged
Was
ourselves.
Whatever.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I also noticed that she said her best friend mentioned that she was in the itty bitty titty committee, and I was like, Jen, not that you wait, hold on, yeah, not that you're a part of, not that you're a card carrying member. However, you used to say that all the time.
I still do. I said it to my kiddo the other day. Actually, not the other day. 2 weeks ago when we were buying her a bra, I said it to her. This one looks like it would fit your itty bitty titty committee. I'm sorry. I'm glad I'm not part of that group anymore, but at the same time, I'm kind of sad because now it's like there's nothing cute. There's nothing cute.
Anywho's, yeah, I don't know, man.
Did you notice that she also mentioned Princess Diaries?
Yes, there were so many fantastic references. I was gonna try and write them down. I know that I did that in the beginning, like I would write down my favorite references, but there were so many. I just loved this book. I really wanted to be friends with Ember and her, what is her friend's name? Where did my book go? Oh,
Joanna.
Joanna. Oh my god, they just seemed so chill.
Yeah, they seem like they would definitely fit in with us.
Absolutely.
I will say, back to that Princess Diaries reference, when she said, if Mia Thermopolis could be a princess, then I could get hired here. And Danica, pure gold. Pure gold.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Honestly, so, like, there was a lot that was really great in this book.
There was, and it's almost, you know what's so stupid is I really enjoyed this book, and I almost feel like it's hard to talk about because it was a rom-com, right? And there's no like crazy twists and turns. Like, I don't want to give spoilers, but at the same time, like, there's not like a whole lot that you can talk about without doing spoilers.
Yeah, well, because
do you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, it's hard to talk about all the aspects that we love without it ruining the book completely.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anything could ruin the book. Honestly, I just thought it was so beautiful. It was 100% a rom-com, but also like you got to see, like, this is what I love about books, right? Like, this is what I love is being able to see the world through the lens of someone else. And that's why I love Own Voices books. That's why I loved Sea of Elephants. That's why I loved that book so much, because I think I hate it when people say I don't see color, because to me, not seeing our differences is such an insane. I get what they're saying. They're trying to say that, like, you know, everyone is equal and all that, which I 100% agree with, but you can't celebrate people's differences without seeing their differences, right? So like, the problem is not being colorblind or not seeing people's differences. You have to. And that's why I love books like this, because I got to see the world through Danica's eyes. Own Voices is so important because it's different having someone tell us a story that's different than them telling us their own story, you know? And to me, that's what reading is. That's like, sure, it's other stuff and fun stories and whatever, but like being able to see the world through someone else's eyes, to me, is one of the most incredible things. So I'm so glad that we read this book. The Truth According to Ember is it's the first rom-com written by an Indigenous woman to be published by a major publishing company. And while that's fantastic, it should have happened sooner. Like, it should have happened sooner, because like, as much as I love that for Danica, like, I want these stories. I want to see the world not just like not just the hard things, right? Not just like I don't know how the best way to say it, but I want to see the everyday. I want to see things through a lens that's different than my own. I had no idea how to put that.
No, but listen, because I know you so well, I completely understand where you're coming from, and I absolutely love how pure your heart is because of the fact that you literally do just want to know. And I love that so much about you because you don't put your experiences in perspective and kind of like say whatever to everybody else's. You want everybody else's experiences to enhance your own. And I love that.
Well, yes, because everyone has a story to tell. And I think the fact that some people get their stories told more or their stories are pushed toward to the forefront. What was that book that you had me read that I cried hysterically? Not Mirror Girls, the other one. It was
Oh, the hate you give.
The
Mm,
Hate You Give. Like
yeah.
that. It's the world is so big and we all have different experiences in it. And what's true for me is not true for you. And
Mhm.
like there's so much incredible thing. There's so many incredible things in the world. There's so many beautiful, stunning, like things to see and to do and to feel and to touch and to experience. And there's also horrible things and awful things, but but we see them differently. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just think that everyone's story is important and everyone's story should be able to be experienced because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to best put it. And I'm just talking in circles now.
I still want you to read or watch Roots.
I I I don't know that I can. I
I know.
genuinely don't know that I can because honestly, like when you think about like how her like I
I know.
focus on the beautiful things because there is so much beauty in the world, right? And we should be able to celebrate it and we should be able to experience it and celebrate each other's beauty. And when I think about how horribly awful people can be to each other, like I'm going to get kind of emotional and I'm really sorry because I don't really think that it's my place to. But there are some statistics that I got from indianaffairs.org in INDIAN dash AFFAIRS.org. And I'm going to kind of read them specifically from the website. So, more than 4 in 5 American Indian and Alaska Native women, or 84.3%, have experienced violence in their lifetime. 84.3%. Homicide is the third leading cause of death among American Indian and Alaska Native women between 10 and 24. Oof. Ooh. Between 10 and 24 years of age, and the fifth leading cause of death for American Indian and Alaska Native women between 25 and 34. Hold on 1 second. In the US and Canada, an average of 40% of the women who were victims of sex trafficking identified as American Indian or Alaska Native. There's so many horrific things that we do to each other for no reason at all. And like, I don't know. Like, seeing the awful things that we do to each other is so heartbreaking. And I can't always take it. So I don't know that I could sit down and watch Roots because it's just people being awful to each other. And, you know, anywho's, this is a rom com.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a tangent right there. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry for making you emotional.
No, it's
Well,
not you. It's
I
genuinely not you. It's the fact
I
that
know.
like some people think that their lives are worth more than other people's, and to me that is the most asinine. I can't, my brain can't even wrap itself around it. American Indians and Alaska Natives are 2.5 times as likely to experience violent crimes and at least 2 times more likely to experience rape or sexual assault crimes compared to all other races. For what? For what? Ugh. Anywho's. So Jen, did you have a favorite quote? I'm so like, it's so baffling to me because like one person's life is not worth more than another person's, and so like for someone to sit there and think that they can do whatever they want with someone else's life, to me, is awful to begin with. And the fact that like Indigenous women are so targeted is heinous. It's disgusting. Like people should be allowed to be safe, and people's stories should be allowed to be heard. And I love that Danica's story is the first rom-com to be traditionally published, but I feel like I want more. I want more of these stories. I want everyone's stories to be heard, not just the awful hard ones.
Well said.
Thanks. So, where should we go from there?
Well, you asked about my favorite quote.
Yes.
I did have a couple of quotes worth mentioning. One of them was, if I never depended on anyone or opened up to anyone, then I never had my expectations squashed.
Yeah, of course, that was your favorite one.
It wasn't my favorite, but it was up there.
I'm sure it was.
My favorite definitely is me. I was a notorious overthinker, but it was what I did. If I anticipated the worst, then when it happened, I was prepared for it.
Yep.
That's exactly me. That is literally me to a T. But other than that, my other favorite one was, he is the native daddy of our girly fantasies.
When that line was given back to her, I about peed my pants.
Literally, I fell in love in that very moment. The native daddy.
I'm gonna be honest, I fell in love when she turned around and saw the tall native with braids, and he was handsome and cheekbones, and I was like, oh.
So what about you? Did you have a favorite quote?
So I wrote down a couple, but I will save my favorite for last. So I loved when she said, "What a rude thing to say to a lady you hardly know." I was at work and I cackled. I was laughing so hard. And then she said, "He was my baby brother and I was a proud big sister." Aww. And I was like, I know that feeling. But my favorite part ever was it was so excited. It was in a very vulnerable situation. Oh, and she kicked. She kicked and said it was my fight or flight response from my wild nerves.
Oh my God. There was so many scenes where I literally just couldn't stop laughing. And that is like a true testament to this entire book. Like there were moments where, yeah, you were like, oh, but then there was so many like good, happy, just funny moments. You have to enjoy each one as they come. There's no preparing for any of them.
And then there were some moments where you were like, oof, Danica, Jesus. Lord. Yeah. I can't even tell you, like, we're gonna have to talk. This is why we need Devilish Bookworms After Dark.
Yeah.
This book right here.
So who was your favorite character? Was it Mr. Tall, Dark, and Handsome?
He was the favorite character of my dreams. No, I think I really loved Walela and I really loved Joanna.
Okay.
I don't even know. Joanna was my favorite. I thought she was hilarious.
She really was.
She really was.
She really was. I love, yeah, her attitude was just everything. But I will say Walela was definitely my top favorite. She
Yeah.
was just Miss Sass all the way. But
Sassy little thing.
I'm not gonna lie though, the auntie, I liked her. I really liked her.
Yeah.
She said shit that needed to be said while most people would just kind of like dance around it. No, she just went full force and I like that.
Yeah. So, Jen, what was your overall impression of The Truth According to Ember?
Honestly, I really enjoyed this one. It was very easy reading, but it was also like very fun to kind of resonate with, and also just like the comedy and wit about it was just absolutely awesome. So I highly recommend it. I enjoyed it. What about you?
I agree. I loved it. I thought that it was a perfect mixture, in my opinion, of lighthearted, um fun. You were cheering on the characters throughout the whole thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You're still like, you're still cheering and rooting for them. And it's the perfect mixture of that, and then also um things that people experience when Ember, her car broke down on the side of the road, and there was like genuine fear because she
Mm-hmm.
had to get out of the car. And like, her aunt was like, stay on the phone with me. Like, it's real life things. And I think that there was a perfect mixture of like the lighthearted, fun aspect, and then also like reality. So I 10 out of 10 would recommend. I loved this book.
Yeah, it was definitely really good. Good pick.
Thanks. What's funny is like, so I saw this book through Threads, and I saw it because someone re posted it, like reposted a post about this book. And then I followed Danica. I decided that I really wanted to do this book for the podcast. And then Danica reposted or quoted a post from Shangayomi about Masquerade. And so then I wanted to read Masquerade. Um yeah, I love our little threads world. Although I will say that I'm kind of nervous now that the people from X are migrating over. I'm like, oh, we have enough
Yeah.
hot takes over here.
Yeah, it's been really tense lately.
Okay, so I 1000% would like you all to check out Danica's socials. She is at Danica_Nava, DANICA_NAVA on Instagram, and on Threads. On X, I suppose I'll give you that handle too. I don't like X, but it's for the good of Danica, at DDNAVA Books on X. I suggest checking her out. She's pretty rad.
So is her book. So check that out too.
So is her book.
Just figured I'd toss that in there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that goes without saying. She's also on TikTok, Danica Nava Books, DANICA NAVA BOOKS. She's everywhere. I'm so excited for her, and I love seeing like she has so many followers, so many, like, so much support. She has articles being written about her everywhere. There's an article about her on Chickasaw Nation. I don't
Go
know. She's
her.
slaying.
Yeah, she is.
I know she's absolutely slaying.
Go Danica. Go Danica.
Go Danica.
Go Danica.
Anywho, Jen, go ahead and tell everyone what we are reading next week.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm sorry.
So excited. And
I just can't get it. So next week we are reading Anastasia by Sophie Lark. I'm so happy.
Yay!
So I know we've done a lot of retellings, but I used to be obsessed with the movie Anastasia growing up. Absolutely loved it, but I never read the story. And then I saw that there was a retelling, and I just went all fucking geeky and pestered the shit out of Rachel to read it. So here we are.
You know, I've never seen it. I've read all about Anastasia Romanov, but I've never ever seen like the cartoon.
Stop it. Really? Oh,
Yeah.
Rasputin was my favorite. And oh my God. Oh my God. The little bat was, oh my God. Bartok.
If we have any Russians who listen to us, I'm really sorry about what we're
Yeah.
doing right now with Anastasia.
Yes, please forgive us. Yeah. Bartok the Magnificent. He was a white albino bat, and he made the move. I'm gonna have to watch it tonight. That's it. Like, this is happening. My day just got so much better.
I'm watching. I started the newest season of Emily in Paris today.
I hate you. I saw that last night and I was gonna watch it, and then I started watching The House of Dragons. So
Oh,
you know I'm a Game
I
of
don't know
Thrones.
that I'm gonna watch. I know. I really liked Game of Thrones, but I don't know that I don't know. We'll see. You'll have to tell me how it is. I've heard good things about one of the most watched shows.
Well, I so far I'm
I've
just
heard good things.
it's not bad so far, but I'll let you know.
You're
I'll definitely let you know. I know.
Everyone, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Devilish Bookworms. I am Rachel. My co-host is Jen, and we want to thank you for going and looking us up on all of the socials and following us and liking and subscribing. We are at Devilish Bookworms on all of the things. And go read The Truth According to Ember because it's fantastic.
And if you're feeling feisty enough, comment on our videos. We can now see those and respond to you guys. So that's fun.
All right, everyone. See you next week.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.